Welcome to this introductory video on cell references in Excel. In this video, we will cover types of cell references and how to use them in formulas. Excel worksheet is a giant grid of cells. The rectangular box you see here is called a cell. The grid consists of rows and columns. Each cell is identified by its reference, or you may call an address, a combination of a letter and a number. For example, the address of this cell is D8. The letter D refers to column D and number 8 refers to row 8. The intersection of column D and row 8 is the location of the cell. On top left, you will see the address of the currently selected cell, also called active cell. There are three types of cell references. First is relative cell reference, which for example is B2, where you don't use a dollar sign. Then it's absolute cell reference, where for both columns and row you use dollar sign. For example, $B, $2. Then the mixed cell reference, which can be, you can fix the column where you put a dollar sign against the column, which is $B2, or fixed row, which is B$2. Relative cell reference is the default reference type. On this worksheet, we have some data in cells A1 to E5. Let's click on cell D7 and enter a formula referencing to cell C2. Now cell D7 has a formula that shows the value that is stored in cell C2. Copy the formula from cell D7 to E9. Excel changes the formula in E9 automatically referencing to cell D4. This change shows relative referencing. We moved from cell D7 to E9, that is one step to the right and two steps down. Excel moves the reference also by the same number of steps, C2 to D4. What happens if we move from D7 three steps to the left? The reference C2 will also move to the left by three steps, which should be one before A2. But there is no such address in Excel. The leftmost address is A2. So Excel shows a reference error. It is up to the user to ensure that the formulas refer to the correct address. Now let's talk about absolute reference. Let's say we want to use a formula where the value of a certain cell does not change. For example, we have a value in cell F1 which we want to add to the values in all other cells. The way to do this is to use absolute reference by using dollar sign for both column and row. F1. Here it means that we want the column to be fixed and row also to be fixed. Therefore, the cell remains fixed at F1. When we copy the formula to any other cell, the reference to cell F1 does not change. In mixed reference, we combine both relative and absolute references. Out of the columns and rows, one will be fixed. Let's view these cell references by using formulas. Here we have products, unit prices, and the number of units sold in the months of January and February. In column E and F, we want to find total sales of each item. Click on E4 and add formula equal to B4 times C4. This gives total sales of item 1 in the month of January. Copy the formula to cells E5 to E12. Let's see the formulas. As we move down from E5 to E12, Excel automatically changed the cell references to corresponding rows. We did not change the column E, but only the rows. So the cells referenced also don't change the columns, but only the rows. Now we will try to copy this formula to column F. We are expecting the formula to be B4 times D4, but it is C4 times D4. Why? When we copied the formula, we moved one column to the right but kept the same row. So Excel changes the reference cells also by one column. So how do we write a formula where we keep the column B fixed but change the columns for months? We go back to cell E4 and modify the formula to $B4 times C4. Now copy this formula. As you can see, the formula in cells F4 to F12 now correctly refer to cells in column B and column D. Now suppose we give a discount of 10% in January and 15% in February on all sales. How do we change the formula to account for this discount? Click on cell G4 and enter formula equal to $B4 times C4 times 1 minus G1. Copy the formula to the other cells. Wow, we get some value type error. Let's see the formula in G5. The term B6 times G5 is correct, but G2 should be referencing to G1. Since G2 is of text data type, we get value type error. Let's fix the formula. We want to keep the value in G1 to be fixed for the row, but change for columns. So we want to use G$1. We change the formula and copy it again to all cells in column G and H. All formulas in column G uses G1 and all column H uses H1, which is correct. I hope this clarifies the cell reference concepts. Thank you.